What's going on, guys? Got another AMC update for y'all here today. Before we get started, remember, I am not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice, so please remember this is educational for purposes only. Before we get started, go ahead and like this video, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any future stock market AMC updates, and also subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it very much. I appreciate your guys' support. Now, before we really get into the video, there's a couple things I really want to address that I think are very important for you guys to realize and for you guys to know. If you don't know me personally, then you don't know this, but if you do know me personally, you know that I love to argue on Twitter and on social media about things that I am very intelligent in and that I've done a lot of research on and things that I know very well. So one of those things obviously is AMC. I make videos about it every day, multiple times a day. I've been studying it for the past 9 months. I've been studying the trends. I've been studying the numbers. I've been doing the research. I feel like, in my opinion, I know what I'm talking about for the most part, especially when it comes to AMC. So the thing I really want to talk about is this FUD. Things on social media that people and that bots and that all these hedge fund payoffs are going to be saying. I'm sick and tired of people on FinTwit misleading retail traders. This isn't a game. Have some semblance of responsibility. At Terrible 808 spent the morning arguing with me that AMC could be worth more than Apple and Google and said a $3,000 price target was realistic. Be logical. So that's when I said, oh, hell no. I'm getting on here and I'm going to start arguing. Started reading through the thread, and then this person said there won't be any squeeze. The short interest is at its lowest point. Okay, short interest is at its lowest point. I see your point. It is. It did go lower. It did go from 21% to 17%. But then I go ahead and reply, 17% short interest is still higher than the 7% short interest of Volkswagen from 2008 when it short squeezed from very low to hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Shorts are short and dark pool volume increasing like it has recently is them trying to find other methods of manipulation, other ways to funnel this buying volume somewhere else so the price doesn't go up. Do your research before you blatantly spew nonsense on social media. That's my advice for everybody, including myself, including AMC holders. Know what you're talking about and do your research before you actually just start spewing stuff on social media. Blocked her. I got so tired of seeing her pop up when I don't follow her. I knew she had no idea what she was talking about when she said Bank of America was going bankrupt and just pumps AMC all day. It's like a cult at this point. By the way, thanks for you and your space talks. It helps. So I replied with, if Bank of America isn't going bankrupt, why are they closing hundreds of locations, 10 of which are in their highest traffic branches? A company that is thriving is not closing their locations 1 year after coming out of the COVID. I work for PNC. We're opening branches more than they're closing their branches. We just bought another bank. So a successful bank's stock is going up. They're buying banks. They're opening more locations. They're raising their minimum wage for their employees, so on and so forth. Bank of America is not thriving. 75% chance of bankruptcy. They're closing locations. They're laying people off. They can't afford to keep their locations open. What makes you think they can afford to stay open as a whole? Traders should trade on fundamentals or technicals and take the levels as they go. 3,000 is neither a fib extension or a fundamental view. 3,000 is a dream. Let's be realistic. So I went ahead and replied to that. That's what's nice about AMC and GME. The technicals do not matter. It's the illegal activity that does, the specific illegal activity that has Citadel fighting for their lives in court right now against the SEC. Do your research. I thought this one was really funny, so I definitely had to reply to this one. AMC people might smoke meth, LOL. So then I replied with, I'll be smoking that Ken Griffin pack when I'm a millionaire, because you think we smoke meth just because we are bullish on a stock, then I don't even want to know what you're smoking when you're saying a stock is up 1,800% on the year is bearish. This person supposedly worked as an accountant for AMC for 7 years, so they understand the company, but they don't understand the current bull thesis. Short interest is dropping, so not sure where the upside is now. That's not our only argument. That's not the only thing that they're doing to manipulate the stock and to manipulate the stock market as a whole. It's not just about short interest. There's synthetic shares, there's dark pool volume, there's all kinds of stuff on the table besides short interest. That's not our only argument. So then I reply with short interest is dropping because they're funneling more volume through the dark pool to avoid the SEC effing them for the short percentage. Hence why the dark pool volume is up to 73% of the total volume as we speak. Sure, shorter interest can drop, but if the price isn't rising, then where else across the board are the numbers increasing? And it is in the dark pool volume, up 73%. That is insane. 73% of the trades we are making on the stock market are going straight to the dark pool and have no buying power or buying impact on the stock exchange that we trade on. I guess Terrible is a lost cause. How anyone thinks AMC is worth over $20 is crazy. They make zero profits. Good point. But to that I reply, they're paying off their debts. That's why there's no profit. When you are a student, such as I was a student, I just graduated, I am a lot of money in debt, a lot more than I make per year. So just because I am in debt by this much and I'm paying my debts off, does that mean that I'm making no profit as a person, that I have no profit as a person because I'm in debt? No, I'm paying my debts off as I'm making and taking my profits. So when in reality, if COVID never happened, they wouldn't even have to be paying their debts off. They'd probably be a liquid company and they'd probably have a plus profit right now. So take COVID out of the equation, this thing probably would have already short squeezed. But put COVID back in the equation, their numbers are still solid. They're still hitting all-time highs in revenue. They're still selling box office tickets, and movies are off the hooks right now. AMC is not dying. AMC is not going to go bankrupt, and this thing will short squeeze. I don't care what any of these shills say. I don't care what any of the FUD says on Twitter, and I want you guys to realize that. They're going to try to say it. They're going to try to get you to sell off, and it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. SEC and Citadel are in court right now. Citadel's shitting their pants. They're going to try to get us to sell off harder and harder as the days go by, as they are starting to run out of time because they want to save as much money as possible. I believe this is the last one for the FUD of the day. This one's simple, idiots with a smiley face. So I replied, AMC is up 1,800% on the year. Think you're the idiot missing profits before the short squeeze even happens. If you would have bought in just $1,000 at the $9 per share strike point in January, you would be profiting $5,000 right now. Profiting $5,000. But we're the idiots. I think the people that are missing out on AMC are the idiots here, because we are up big and the short squeeze hasn't even happened yet. This thing's at $36 a share and we are still trending. According to this message from Fidelity, an AMC stockholder attempted to have their shares transferred from Robinhood, and Robinhood has informed Fidelity that the shares are not in his account. Where is the SEC? We regret to inform you that the transfer of assets request from Robinhood to Fidelity Investments has been delayed for the below reasons. Your delivering account does not hold the requested assets. To resolve this issue, please contact the delivering firm to discuss available assets in your account. If you're in Robinhood and you're seeing this and you're still in Robinhood and you're not trying to transfer out and you're not trying to figure out what's going on, you're not calling them and trying to see if you have shares, then what are you doing? Because this is just as good. You sitting in Robinhood with your shares and not knowing if they are actual shares or if they are synthetics is just as good as you not owning any shares, because you're not playing the game to your advantage. You're not taking the advantage of all these other brokerages like Fidelity and like Public that don't do PFOF and that you can directly route your orders to the stock exchange and avoid the dark pool. We want to trade on the lit exchange. We want to trade on the New York Stock Exchange. We want to trade on the NASDAQ. We do not want our volume to go to the dark pools. So you need to get out and go to Fidelity. Not financial advice, but very, very good thing to do, because you can choose where your order is going. Robinhood will offer no new cryptos on the platform until receiving further regulatory guidance. They are dropping really bad. The share price is down pretty solid right now, and Robinhood is just honestly not in a good place. Fidelity is allowing IEX routing through the app. Route all your orders through there or the NYSE. Citadel doesn't like it because they can't screw with your order. Let them stuff their quotes up their dark pools amongst themselves. If you forcefully send your order routed to a specific place, then they cannot control the volume and they cannot pump it into the dark pool. That is my point. This is how we stop them. If you don't want to DRS your shares like me, because right now to DRS your shares, it's about 8 weeks of transfer pending time, and we know a lot can happen in 8 weeks, and I just personally do not want to risk not having my assets in hand if I need to sell for any reason. So at least get through Fidelity, at least direct your routes to the lit exchange, because that's how we win this game. We are so close. It's all lining up. Do not quit now, apes. Like I said, the technical analysis that people preach about that they say isn't there is there. The technical analysis is showing that we should have a breakout here soon. It's a cycle stock. We know that. We have been preparing for this breakout for a week now. So who knows exactly when it's going to happen, but the pattern is there, the technicals are there, and the analysis is there. Fidelity, find the dip at 36.60 and 4 million shares, $146 million of AMC. And if we zoom in right here, we can see it. Fidelity small cap, 107,972. Fidelity total market index fund, 796,523. Fidelity extended market index fund, 2.7 million. They are dropping money into this, and when the whales are putting their money somewhere, that's where you follow, regardless of what these shills like to say on Twitter. Gary Gensler is rumored to be talking about getting rid of the T+2, allowing orders to settle the next day or even the same day, which would be huge. We would get information out faster. The volume of the stock would be almost immediate, and everything would work in a free open market like it is supposed to. Little DWAC. Trump apparently is planning an on-demand video service. This could be huge for DWAC if you own it, and it is in a dip right now. I suggest buying up that dip if you can before this thing takes off again. Breaking news from Unusual Whales. GameStop has entered the metaverse with Web 3.0 job posting. NFTs are confirmed. This is huge because we know that these NFTs can cause a margin call, and they will cause the margin call once it is released and once the NFTs are bought, because then GME is going to have to go to these hedge funds, to these market makers, and say, hey, these NFTs have to be paid out. We need to know how many shares there are, how many people own these shares, and how much we can give to each of the people, each of the shareholders, broken up based off of what the full amount of the NFT is. So therefore, they're going to have to margin call. They're going to have to cover all of the shares, and they're going to have to prove which shares are synthetic and which shares are actually real. SHIB is recent all-time high is up 62 million% year to date. That is effing insane. If you're not in on SHIB now at this point, I don't know what you're doing, because I've said it a few times now, and I think, like I always say, it's not financial advice, but it is something I recommend for educational purposes. News on Wednesday: attacks on unrealized capital gains is to be released by Wyden. It is meant to be only on billionaires. Hopefully we have nothing to worry about here, and that we're not going to have to pay taxes on unrealized capital gains, because none of us are billionaires here. This is meant to have the 1%ers pay taxes so they can not get through these loopholes like they always do. That's about all I have for you guys on the research side of things today. Let's go ahead and get into the price predictions. So in the pre-market, we are up to $36.25 per share. If you do look at the white line, it's hard to point out, but that white line that is sitting above the charts is the VWAP, and we know that the VWAP is magnetic. If you don't know what the VWAP is, it's basically the total amount of money that was traded on the market that day for that stock divided by the volume of the trade, and that will give you your VWAP score, and that kind of gives you an idea of the standard deviation of what this thing's going to do. So we do see that with the VWAP, it was rejected a little bit around that 36.30, so we could see this thing try to test that 36.30 again and see if it'll shoot up above that. And with the VWAP, when it goes up above it, it acts as a support level, and it acts as a reverse magnet and pushes it the opposite way of the VWAP line. So we could see that coming soon. If we took away all the manipulation and things were perfect, that's exactly what we would see, but it's hard to say as the manipulation is at an all-time high and it is continuing to get higher. Be prepared for a little bit more of a dip. Obviously, they're going to try to push this thing down, but we know the game. Just keep holding, buy off the lit exchange, buy the dips, and continue to just be an ape. Don't believe the FUD, and have a little bit of confidence in yourself and in your own research. That's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, let me know, but until next time, peace.